So today we are going to spend time with Matthew's retelling of the Resurrection Sunday, the first Resurrection Sunday. And the theme today, the title of the sermon is The Lie That Jesus Did Not Resurrect. And the reason why I selected this is because it is a lie that still grabs hold onto many people's imagination. Jesus did resurrect, and if we truly believe that this happened, and it did happen, then we should not be in a place where we have young people killing each other just because they were born in a different place on this earth. That is not a resurrection. That is not a Jesus kingdom. And we live in a world where we're constantly told that Jesus' resurrection did not happen, even though America and Christianity is the most popular religion. More people are adherents, almost a billion, more than 2 billion. And maybe we do say in the churches that Jesus resurrected, but I don't know if we truly believe that Jesus rose from the dead. I wonder if we just say it as if it's a metaphor, as if it's just a spring story. Winter is death, spring comes back. Jesus is that cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. So we want to look at the story. We want to see how, when it first happened, the resurrection, said how there was a lie that was manufactured so that people would not believe in the resurrection. Because, resurrection, it changes a lot of things. And most people don't want things to change. Okay, so we're going to do Matthew 28, but we're going to start with what happened after the witnessing of the resurrection and the beginning of the manufacturing of this lie. The resurrection did not happen. So we pick it up from verse 11. And in my Bible, in NIV, it says it's the guard's report. That's already giving you a hint. Something happened, but now we want to give you a report. Now, quite often, the report doesn't always tell everything as is. The report is driven by other selfish motives and reasons. Whether it be from companies that has to give a report. I want to give a report, and we want to work with the numbers a little so it shows that to my manager that I was very productive. Let's fudge with the numbers a little so our stakeholders will continue to invest in us. Right? Once you hear the word report, it means, okay, they're going to be very creative with this. So, Matthew 28, verse 11. Right? The guards report. While the women were on their way, so this woman, we're going to go back to the story. As I said, we're going to work back today. They experienced this resurrected Jesus. They have testimony. But here, they're going to create a report. While the women were on their way, some of the guards went into the city and reported to the chief priests everything that had happened. So this event was so marvelous and awe-inspiring, they just said this is what happened. Again, we'll go back to the details of it. I know you're excited. You want to get to it right now, but hold on. They said when the chief priests had met with the elders and divided council, they heard something true. They knew that these soldiers did not lie. There was no motive for them to lie and create this. So something miraculous, something awe-inspiring happened. You don't usually meet people who go and say, you know the person who you just executed a couple of days ago? He's alive. Now, that should have I want to find out more. Someone who, we made a mistake. It's an opportunity for us to learn. Is this the Messiah then? Was he truly Messiah? On the cross, he prayed, Father, forgive them, so they know what kind of character this person is. It's not if Jesus came back from the dead, he's not going to go judge and destroy and kill all his enemies. So they could have repented. That could have been a way to engage the truth, right? They could have done that, but they listen to it. They go and they have a meeting. It's not always good to have too many meetings. What happens? You know what happens, right? That something happens. Let's have a meeting to create a report. At the end of that long process with committees, with everyone having their own motives to fudge with the numbers, when you come out with the report, it ain't nothing like what happened. So they devised a plan. A lie not out of instinctual self-preservation, but out of self-preservation, they devised a plan in an intentional system of lies. They gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, you are to say, here it is now, this is the official narrative that's going to go out. This is the official press release that's going to go out. We saw last week, and we see it again, the way people who seize power and they try to retain power, the tactic remains the same, doesn't it? Lies, devise a lie, pay people off to keep the lie, and just bombard people with the lie until they cannot tell what is true and false. You are to say his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep. If this report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble. Ooh. We will give false witnesses. If enough people said this is what happened, then people will believe that's what happened, even if it didn't happen. So the soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. And this story has been widely circulated among the Jews to this very day. So when Matthew wrote this, there were a lot of Jews who said, yeah, the empty tomb, but disciples took it. And Matthew got into it and realized that this was a manufactured press release. And I don't blame the Jews. That's a very anti-Semitic way of reading it. It's these people who were in power, who created this, who has all the leverage, who has all the platform, and sending it out. And most people don't have time to work through all of this. I was going to say, but crap, you know? We don't have time. So busy, they just have to put food on the table. And so you kind of have to trust what is given to you. You trust the institutions. When the temple priests say this is it, hey, they're servants of God. They must be telling the truth. And so they trust it. But what they're saying, what they have put it out in the newspaper, in the prints, in the social media platform, in all of it, right? And the videos they create, all of it is what? They're saying that Jesus did not resurrect. And the disciples who go around and say Jesus resurrected, they're giving you fake news. It's the same tactic. Same tactic. Fake news. And by the way, again, there's a strategy behind this. What has happened 2,000 years ago and what is happening now. Saying anything that comes out of reliable sources is all fake news. So what happens is it creates distrust. So then the only person now you can trust is the one who has the platform, right? The mic. It really gets to you. It really gets to you. I'll be honest. When I go through I'm under an algorithm too. When I see some stuff, I can't tell what is true and what is not. How do I find out what is true and what is not? And so then at that point, the danger is not that you become more critical and realize that even the word fake news itself is fake, but you don't just trust anything that anyone says. This is a classic tactic. Back in Germany, when the Nazis took over, they had a word that was very much like what we see right now. They called it Lügenpresse. I don't know if the German pronunciation is correct there, but Lügenpresse, which was lying press. That's how the Nazis rose in power, by calling it Lügenpresse, lying press. And so this is what these elders, meaning those people who are at political power, back in those days, there was no separation of church and state. Whoever had spiritual power had political power. There were appointments. And they were saying, whatever you hear from disciples, fake news. They took the body. So there are two versions of this story. Again, we're going to go to the story that Matthew has, Mary's version. We're going to get there. Now there's two stories. There is the disciples who said Jesus rose from the dead. And then there is the official news that the disciples stole, right, the body and is lying. One of the ways in which we can tell, right, what is true or not is a people who are carrying that version. In other words, like lying is really, 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 really hard to live with. If the disciples were lying about the resurrection, and then people came and they were threatening him, hey, right now I want you to denounce the resurrection, or we will kill you. If the person who lied, right, was all lie, at that point they would say, okay, we were just joking. We just made that up just to save their skin against self-preservation. The only reason why they would say that I cannot go back in my own words is if it really happened. They cannot deny the truth. You can give up a lie if your life is at stake. But they are willing to give up their life because they cannot deny the truth. It is lives that they lived out by which we can tell which version is the true story. There was nothing for the disciples to gain through this lie, if it was a lie. But because it wasn't a lie, they were willing to sacrifice everything because it was true. Empty tomb because Jesus rose from the dead. How can I deny that? I can't. I will not be able to live if I deny myself of that. That's a lie. And then I live, I will not know how to live those years. It's hard to live a life of lies. I think you know this story. Carolyn Bryant. Do you remember Carolyn Bryant? She died about now 10 years ago when she was 77 years old. In 2007, she gave an interview where she finally confessed that she had lied about Emmett Till. The case where the young man from Chicago falsely accused of touching her and saying, in the court, she said, things I cannot say again in this court, she said. She went with that lie for a long time. It's a terrible lie. It causes death. Now, this is not to justify anything. I mean, she should have never done it. But that lie was so great that she finally had to confess. No amount of real sorry, my mistake is going to make up for that one. I leave that soul to God's hand. But she could not live with that. You don't think, like, if it was a lie, if the disciples all lied, they all got together and say, okay, let's just lie about Jesus. And let's just all agree that he didn't resurrect. I mean, he resurrected from the dead. I mean, after all, we followed him for 3 years. So we want to make our investment, good return. You don't think one of them would break if it was a lie? Of course. But not one of them broke because it happened. It is important in today's time, as it was 2,000 years ago, but today, because we live in this time, we were born in this time, because we have a purpose, that we seek the truth and we speak the truth, even if it costs us our life. Oof, that is hard. Even as I say it, I don't know if but it's so important for people to seek the truth and speak the truth, even if it costs our life. Because the way people abuse power is by constantly lying. So now, let us go back to what happened to Mary. Verse 1, Matthew 28, verse 1. After the Sabbath, at dawn, morning. No, it's good. Come on in, please. Actually, it's okay. Come on in, yes. Good morning. Wow, okay. Who are those two young people? Changed so much? Wow. Okay, it's beautiful. Glad you joined us. All right, so we're in Matthew 28, okay, verse 1. Okay. We just go through how the official people in power and authorities created a fake news, blamed the disciples as fake news, and they told their own version. So now we're in verse 1 to see what really happened. After the Sabbath, at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. Interesting. It's the woman who go to the tomb. Where were the men? Sorry, man. We were scared. We were too darn scared. Right? Peter ran away. And he thought he was like all brave. Like he's gonna be like Braveheart. He's my friend. No, he doesn't. He denies it. But my mother's graveyard. I don't know him. Everybody ran away, and they wouldn't come back because, I mean, if they cut off the head, Jesus, right, they're next. So they're not there. But Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, it could be the Mary who was the mother of John and James, it could have been, or Mother Mary. We do not know. So in other words, many of them were named Mary, okay? But they're there, brave. There was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven and going to the tomb, rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothes were white as snow. The guards were so afraid of him that they shook and became like dead men. Here again, something you don't usually see. There's an angel. The tomb has been rolled away. Women, they were scared, yes, but not as scared as the guards. They were scared like dead men. Like they could not respond. They were so scared they did not know what to do. The angel said to the woman, addresses the woman, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said. Come and see the place where he lay." Let's just pause right there. Come and see the place where he lay. We must seek the truth, and we must speak the truth no matter the cost of our lives or the lies of those who seized power will control the world. And one of the ways when we seek the truth is we, like Mary, must go to those places where people don't want you to investigate. Get on with your life. We killed Jesus. He was an insurrectionist. Don't look into it. Just get on with your life. And most people were getting on with their lives. Even the 12 who loved Jesus, who followed Jesus for 3 years, were now ready to get on with their life. The people in power rely on this. They kill people. They kill the insurrectionists, those rebels. They kill innocent people, and they're hoping that people will get on with their lives and will not cause any trouble. And we do, don't we? We do. Wars happen. People are murdered. Children die. Collateral damage. That is sad. But we get on with our lives. We'll accept the official version because we're so tired and exhausted. We get on with our lives. But the Christian discipleship must practice seeking the truth. And here they are when they seek the truth. Another thing about seeking the truth is you really must pay attention to the details. So all this time, even me, I'm going to be, this is how stupid I am, okay? All this time, I thought, okay, so the angel rolls the tomb away so Jesus could come out. But that's not what happened here. Like, really, the resurrected Jesus, it's like, defeated death. Shoot, there's a stone there. Who's going to get that out? Angel. That's not what happened, right? In the Luke's version, Jesus is one with the resurrected, glorified body. He could just walk through walls because it isn't limited like our physical body. It's a glorified spiritual physical body. What that is exactly, I don't know. But there are some things, properties that we don't have, which is like walking through walls, appearing, disappearing. And Jesus does that. So he needed an angel to roll away the stone? No. Nowhere in the scripture does it say angel rolling away the tomb and go, okay, Jesus, you're free. That's not how it happened. The only reason why the angel is there to roll away is to show the woman that he is not here. That's the story. But we don't read it carefully. We just say, oh, okay, that's what people are saying. We just assume. But the story is the angel rolls away so the woman who is seeking sees that the tomb is empty and Jesus is not there. So it's giving an evidence. It's giving evidence to the woman. He's not here. He has risen just as he has said. We must seek the truth. We got to pay attention to the details. We can't just accept things as is and just assume and make our own connections. Read it very, very carefully. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, you seek the truth, then you got to speak the truth. Because, again, lies, they try to overwhelm you. They try to shut down the truth. And if those people who experience truth don't speak the truth, that truth dies. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him. Now I have told you. So the angel is there not to help Jesus out of the tomb. The angel is there to let the women know what happened, so they know the truth, so now they can go proclaim it. Share it. So the woman hurried away from the tomb, afraid. Of course, you're going to be afraid, yet filled with joy. Afraid because, well, again, this doesn't happen. So a dead person come back to life? If you see a dead person come back to life, even if you believe it, you'll still be a little bit freaked out. Like, okay, so you're not a zombie, right? You're just a little bit freaked out. But also, they also know that now they're going up against the powers. As we just read, they devised another story. If you go against the official story, what happens? They try to shut you down. They try to buy your company out. They try to cancel you. They charge you fees. They make you lose your job. They take away the platform. It is costly to speak the truth. But those who know the truth, if they don't speak the truth, then the lies will control the world. So filled with fear, afraid, but yet filled with joy, they ran to his disciples. And suddenly Jesus met them. On our way to speak the truth, we see the truth. Greetings, he said. They came to him, clasped his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, do not be afraid. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. There they will see me. Those who experience the truth, because they seek the truth, must speak the truth. And the word that the resurrected Jesus says over and over and over again, because this is the most important virtue you will need and I will need if we're going to speak the truth, is do not be afraid. Afraid. They use fear to shut down the truth. They overwhelm you with the platform that they own, the companies that they own, the media companies they own. They overwhelm you with the lie. And so those who know the truth, if they're afraid, then there's no longer truth in this world. Do we live in a world that truly believes in the resurrected Jesus Christ? Or do we live in a world that doesn't believe resurrection happened? When I look at where we are, I feel like we don't really believe that Jesus rose from the dead. Again, we might say it by lip service, and many churches will celebrate this day. But do we truly believe that Jesus rose from the dead? Because if he did, we should not be doing things as usual, right? I mean, if death is defeated, and if sin is defeated, and he's the one who said, love your enemy, and if he said, who's my neighbor, and he talks about the Samaritan, who the Jews hated, and thought that Samaritans were just evil, and Samaritan is the one who helps, and so then the neighbor is who? The neighbor is actually anyone in need, anyone hungry, anyone sick, anyone beaten up on the road. If Jesus resurrected and Jesus taught those stories, then actually we shouldn't live in a world that there's no war, where all that we have enough. So there should be no one hungry. We should have true peace. But here we are, 2,000 years later, just bombing each other and killing each other. And we got people who have billions of dollars, but we still have people who are, well, children who die of hunger. And it's not because we don't have enough. It's because we still believe that Jesus did not defeat death, and that the world is as it is. And the only way I'm going to survive is keeping and seizing what I need and holding it tight. In this world of lies, and that's a lie. It is a lie. You just think about any type of system that takes money, that takes land, that takes people's labor, that bomb each other. Just think about any system. How do they keep on doing it? Lies. Just lies after lies after lies. Today, we need someone like Mary Magdalene, who seeks the truth out, who is not afraid. And when you see it, to speak it, to speak it. Friends, we are overwhelmed by those lies. This is the truth. The tomb is empty. And those first generation disciples, when they were threatened with death and gave up your story, they said, I can't give up the story. Jesus truly rose from the dead. And if you have to take my life, go ahead. But I will not stop telling this truth. We need courageous people like that today to speak the truth. Jesus indeed rose from the dead, and the tomb is empty. Jesus' body did not rot. This was not a story that was fabricated. Jesus is alive, even now here, the resurrected one, receiving our worship and telling us this morning, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I am with you. In January 2026, so this is just a few months ago, Alex Pretty, a 37-year-old intensive care nurse, I think you know this story, was just trying to help out a woman who was pepper sprayed. If you saw the video, you could see it. He was shot 10 times by federal agents in Minneapolis. As soon as that happened, and this was the official story, the White House officials and the federal agency branded Pretty a domestic terrorist. He was a would-be assassin, and that he was brandishing a firearm. That was the spin that went out immediately. Like, he's your own citizen. But the people in power, they don't care. When that went out, within hours, the official narrative was challenged by civilian truth tellers, people who were there. And nowadays, with the phone, they captured it. And if you've seen it, sometimes, like when those videos come, it's hard for me to see. For this one, I felt like I did have to see it. So if you didn't see it, that's fine. But over there, you'll see that Pretty was holding not a gun, but a cell phone, trying to record what? The truth of the event. Because he knows that the official people in power will always spin a lie. So he was taking a video and trying to stop. And then he was brought down. You could see these federal agents, they pushed him down to the ground. Like several federal agents were holding him down to the ground. And he was just saying that there was a fireman said, I'm a legal carrier. And you could see it, right, near his waist. And he was just removing it because he didn't want to escalate it. That's when the agents shot him while he was pinned down. Not just once, twice, but 10 times. How quickly they turned and said domestic terrorist. But thanks to people who spoke the truth, the people know the story. We need courageous people who will tell the truth. Tell the truth of what's happening in our neighborhoods. Whenever we see these lies that justify any type of oppression or killing, we must speak the truth. And then speak the most important truth, like Jesus, who was also executed as a terrorist. That he was a righteous man. He was a good man. Not just a good man, he was the Son of God. And the tomb is empty. So let us be bold. Because the resurrected Jesus is here this morning. Do you believe it? And he says to us, do not be afraid. Amen.